You got a raise last year. Maybe two. Your income is meaningfully higher than it was 3 years ago. On paper, you should feel wealthier. More breathing room. More options. A growing cushion between you and the next emergency. Instead, the bank account looks about the same. The stress looks about the same. The feeling of running out before the next paycheck hits looks about the same. You earned more and you have roughly the same amount to show for it. This is the quiet problem nobody warns you about. Not the budget-busting emergencies. Not the impulse splurges. Just the slow upward drift of what feels normal. A slightly nicer apartment. A slightly better grocery brand. A subscription here. A convenience fee there. A casual upgrade on something you used to live without. Each step individually reasonable. Each step individually invisible. And collectively they absorb every raise you get before you even enjoy it. Here's the uncomfortable part. You're not spending on junk. You're not burning money at casinos or wrecking yourself with luxury. You're making thousands of small decisions that all feel earned. All feel proportional, all feel deserved, and all feel like nothing. The result is the same trapped feeling you had at a lower income. The same math at a higher number. What actually gets people out of this cycle isn't discipline. Discipline burns out in a week. It's structure. It's habits. It's the boring, invisible routines that quietly keep money from slipping away when you're not paying attention. This video walks through 15 habits that stop the drift. Not habits that make your life worse. Habits that work. Because they remove the need for constant vigilance. If you've ever wondered why you can't seem to get ahead, even when you earn more, pay attention. The first habit is translating every purchase into hours of your working life. Money is abstract. Hours are not. When you look at a $120 pair of shoes, the number doesn't trigger much. When you think about it as 5 hours of your actual day, the calculation changes. Divide your take-home pay by the number of hours you actually work in a month, including commute and unpaid overtime. That number is your real hourly rate. It's lower than you think. Most people, when they do this math, honestly discover their effective hourly rate is 60 to 70% of their stated one. Before any meaningful purchase, run the conversion. Is this item worth 4 hours of your life? Is this meal worth 90 minutes of your Tuesday? Is this subscription worth the 15 minutes of every month you spend working to pay for it? This reframe does something that dollar signs don't. It forces you to compare purchases against your finite time, instead of against a bank number that refills on payday. The second habit is choosing one day of the week as your only shopping day. Every other day is a no-spend day by default. You need something? Write it down. When your spending day arrives, review the list. Purchase what's actually still needed. The rest gets crossed off or pushed to next week. This single rule collapses the surface area of your spending. Instead of 6 or 7 daily opportunities to drift into an unnecessary purchase, you get one concentrated window. Impulse has to survive 6 days of delay before it becomes an actual transaction. Most of it doesn't. There's another benefit people underestimate. Your other 6 days become genuinely free of commerce. No browsing, no comparing, no tabbing through sites to kill 10 minutes. Your brain stops thinking about purchases because purchases aren't on the menu. That mental space is its own form of wealth. The third habit is never entering a grocery store hungry. This sounds almost too simple to bother with, but the research on it is unambiguous. Hungry shoppers spend significantly more per trip than fed shoppers. The average differential is around 20%, sometimes higher. You buy more. You buy less carefully. You buy things that promise immediate satisfaction over practical use. Eat something before you walk in. A real meal, not a snack. If you can't eat first, delay the trip. A grocery run while starving is the most expensive version of that trip you can possibly make. The same principle extends to other kinds of shopping. Don't shop tired. Don't shop rushed. Don't shop when your phone is at 3% and you need to finish quickly. Any state that shortcuts your decision-making shows up in your total at checkout. The fourth habit is removing every saved payment method from every browser and every website. Autofill is one of the single most effective tools ever invented for extracting money from consumers who weren't fully intending to spend. Your card is stored. Your address is stored. Your preferences are remembered. Buying something takes less effort than texting a friend. Go into your browser settings. Delete saved cards. Delete autofill profiles. Log out of every shopping site you remain logged into. Every time you want to buy something online going forward, you have to physically retrieve your card and type in 16 digits, expiration date, security code, and billing zip. That tiny additional effort kills a stunning percentage of impulse transactions. Nothing else changes. The prices are the same. The products are the same. The only difference is the 3 minutes of friction between wanting and paying, and that 3 minutes is often enough to end the purchase entirely. The fifth habit is unfollowing every lifestyle account that makes aspirational consumption feel normal. This is adjacent to unsubscribing from emails, but deeper. Promotional emails are obvious advertising. Your brain at least recognizes them as such. Lifestyle influencers, home tour accounts, fashion accounts, and product review channels are something more dangerous. They masquerade as entertainment while functioning as advertising. You scroll through beautiful kitchens and wonder why yours looks tired. You watch outfit rotations and notice your closet hasn't changed in months. You see a creator casually open yet another package and internalize that a life worth showing involves constant acquisition. None of this is neutral content. It's calibrated desire delivered for free. Do an audit of who you follow. For each account, ask if it consistently makes you feel better about your life or worse. The ones that consistently leave you wanting more than you have don't deserve the real estate in your head. Unfollow them. Replace them with accounts about things that don't require spending to enjoy. The change in how often you feel the urge to buy something will surprise you within 2 weeks. The sixth habit is establishing a hard no-spend day. Every single week. One full day where not a single dollar leaves your possession for any reason. No coffee. No snack run. No tapping a card at any terminal. Nothing. This isn't about the money saved on that particular day, though that adds up too. It's about proving to yourself that you can exist, function, and be content for 24 hours without engaging in commerce at all. Most people discover during their first few no-spend days how reflexive their spending had become. They reach for their wallet at moments they didn't realize were purchasing moments. They notice how often boredom or transition triggers a casual buy. The friction of the no-spend day makes those patterns visible. Once the weekly rhythm is established, the number of unconscious purchases drops. Across your other days too. You've demonstrated to yourself that a day can pass without retail participation, and that demonstration rewires something. The seventh habit is the borrow before buy rule. For anything used less than monthly, most of the items cluttering our lives and draining our accounts fall into this category. The specialty kitchen tool used 4 times a year. The power drill you need every 18 months. The folding table for the party you throw annually. The camping gear for the one weekend trip you're finally taking. These items feel like investments because they last, but the honest math is brutal. A $200 tool used 3 times over its life cost you nearly $70 each time. Your neighbor's identical tool sitting in their garage doing nothing would have cost you $0. Before any purchase of a low-frequency item, ask if you can borrow it, rent it, or access it through a library. Most tool libraries, neighborhood groups, and peer rental platforms exist precisely to solve this. If you can't borrow, rent. If you can't rent, ask whether you actually need the capability or whether you're pattern matching toward ownership, because ownership feels like adulthood. Keeping a small inventory and accessing the rest when needed produces more financial breathing room than almost any other single shift in behavior. The eighth habit is keeping a running list of things you decided not to buy and tallying the dollar amount saved. Every time you consider a purchase and talk yourself out of it, write it down. The jacket you wanted but walked away from, the upgrade you didn't need, the impulse you resisted at checkout. Record the item and its price. At the end of each month, total the amount. This number is real money that stayed in your account. Because of specific decisions you made, it makes restraint concrete instead of abstract. People dramatically undercount how much their self-control actually saves them, because nothing in the environment rewards them for it. No receipt prints. No confirmation email arrives. No visible record of the defended $100. The list fixes that. You see the $800 you chose not to spend this month. That number becomes its own kind of success. Discipline starts generating its own reward loop once it's made visible, and the list is what makes it visible. The ninth habit is reviewing every receipt at the end of each day. 30 seconds per receipt maximum. You look at each transaction and ask one question. Was this worth it given what I know now? Not was it affordable? Not did I need it in the moment? Was the dollar amount you handed over actually proportional to the value you received? This is micro-retrospection. It doesn't change the purchase you already made. It changes the next one. Regular evaluation creates a feedback loop that your brain uses to calibrate future decisions. You start to notice that lunch bought because you couldn't be bothered to pack one always feels overpriced in retrospect. You start to notice that the coffee you grabbed walking past the shop rarely got finished. These observations accumulate. Without the end-of-day review, each disappointing purchase gets quickly forgotten. Nothing integrates. You make the same regretted transaction in a slightly different costume every week. The review turns random experience into learning. The 10th habit is cooking from a tight rotation of repeating meals. This directly contradicts most food culture advice, which pushes variety and discovery, and the endless pursuit of new recipes. That approach is expensive. It requires ingredients you don't already own, used once and discarded. It requires grocery trips that inevitably expand beyond the recipe's stated needs. It requires the mental overhead of constant novelty. Pick 8 to 10 meals you genuinely enjoy and know how to make well. Rotate them. Buy the same ingredients every week. Master the efficient version of each one. Your grocery list becomes shorter and cheaper. Your waste drops to almost nothing. Your cooking gets faster because repetition builds skill. Your willingness to actually eat at home goes up because cooking no longer means learning. The people you know who eat out constantly aren't doing it because they love restaurants. They're doing it because cooking feels hard. Cooking feels hard because they never built the small repertoire that makes it easy. A rotation of familiar meals fixes that at the root. The 11th habit is batching errands into a single trip. Every additional trip outside your home is a potential spending event. Every drive past a store is a potential detour. Every gas station stop is a potential candy bar. Every stop for one thing tends to become a stop for 3 things. Once a week, make a list of every errand you need to run. Map an efficient route that covers all of them in a single outing. Commit to that route and return home. Don't run out for a forgotten item. Add it to next week's list. This sounds mechanical, but the spending reduction is significant. Fewer trips means fewer exposure events to retail environments. Fewer decision points about whether to swing by. Less gas burned. Less time spent in spending contexts. Your week also opens up. Errands compressed into one efficient window. Leave the rest of your days uninterrupted by tasks that eat small amounts of money every time they happen. The 12th habit is paying close attention to who you shop with. Money behavior is contagious. Shop with someone who casually spends, and you will casually spend. Shop with someone who challenges every purchase, and you will challenge your own. This isn't about judging other people or avoiding friends. It's about recognizing that certain social configurations produce predictable outcomes. The mall trip with a friend who loves to shop always ends with you buying something you didn't need. The meal out with a generous spender always ends with a bigger check than you would have chosen. You don't have to stop seeing these people. You just have to stop doing commercial activities with them. Meet for walks. Meet at each other's homes. Meet for free public events. Save the consumption activities for people whose financial values line up with yours, or for solo trips where no one else's patterns are shaping yours. The 13th habit is reframing every discount as money spent, not money saved. Retailers have trained consumers to feel good about percentages off, dollars saved, and original prices crossed out in favor of lower numbers. The psychology is powerful and almost entirely in the retailer's favor. A sign that says save $40 on an item you weren't going to buy is really asking you to spend $60 on an item you weren't going to buy. Saving implies subtracting from your expenses a discount you only engaged with. Because of the discount itself does the opposite. It adds to your expenses. You ended the transaction with less money than before it. Train yourself to read discounts backwards. Instead of saved 40, read spent 60. Instead of 50% off, read still handing over half the price. The language change corrects the psychological manipulation built into sale presentations. Real savings is money you kept because you didn't purchase. There's no sign for that. Retailers will never help you recognize it. You have to do that work yourself. The 14th habit is paying yourself first through automated transfers that execute before any discretionary spending can happen. The classic mistake is treating savings as whatever is left. At the end of the month, whatever is left is almost always nothing. Lifestyle expands to consume whatever's available. Reverse the order. On the day your paycheck arrives, an automatic transfer moves. A fixed percentage directly into savings or investments. The rest is yours to manage. This isn't new advice, but almost nobody actually implements it. They keep meaning to. They keep saying they'll start when income stabilizes or when things calm down. Things never calm down. The calm month is a myth. Set up the automation once. Start small if you have to. 5% moved automatically. We'll do more for you than 20% you promise yourself. You'll save after expenses. Automation beats intention every single time. On a long enough timeline, the money you don't see you don't miss. The budget adjusts quickly. Within a month or two, the pre-transfer income feels like your full income and savings happen invisibly in the background. The 15th habit is scheduling a monthly financial review with yourself. The same way you'd schedule a meeting. 1 hour, once a month. On your calendar, treat it as seriously as any professional obligation. During the review, you do 3 things. You look at the previous month's spending in aggregate and by category. You check progress against your current financial goals. You plan any adjustments needed for the coming month. That's it. 1 hour. Most financial lives fail not because of any single catastrophic event, but because nobody is minding the store. Subscriptions creep up. Spending categories drift. Goals get quietly abandoned because they were never reviewed again after being set. The monthly review is the counter to this drift. It's the act of showing up to your own financial life regularly. Treat it like a dentist appointment. Skipping it feels fine in the moment. The cost shows up later and costs more than the review would have taken. Once this rhythm exists, nothing drifts for long. Small problems get caught small. Creeping expenses get flagged before they become structural. Good habits get confirmed. Bad patterns get corrected. You become the person who knows their own finances, instead of the person who occasionally guesses at them. These 15 habits don't require discipline in the traditional sense. They require about an hour of initial setup for most of them, after which they run on autopilot. The power isn't in any single habit. It's in the combined effect of habits that collectively remove the friction between your intentions and your outcomes. Every person watching this already intends to spend less than they earn. Every person already intends to save more. Every person already intends to make fewer impulse purchases. Intention is not the bottleneck. Intention is everywhere. What's missing is the infrastructure that carries intention into behavior automatically. That's what habits do. They turn what you want into what happens while you're busy living. The raise you got last year didn't disappear into some great mystery. It disappeared into 1,000 small, frictionless, invisible decisions. Those decisions are addressable. You can build a life in which more of what you earn stays with you, where lifestyle creep doesn't eat every improvement in your income, where next year's raise actually moves you forward instead of evaporating on arrival. But that life isn't built through vague good intentions or periodic motivational bursts. It's built through specific changes to how your days and weeks and money actually function. Pick 3 habits from this video, not 15. 3. The ones that sound most like a leak you've been ignoring. Implement them this week. Let them become automatic over the next month. Then come back and add 3 more. This is how real change happens. Not through a dramatic overhaul on a Sunday night that collapses by Thursday, but through the slow stacking of small environmental shifts that compound into a completely different financial reality. The money isn't disappearing because you're bad with money. It's disappearing because the systems around you are optimized to make it disappear. Change the systems and you change the outcome. Your future income deserves better than the treatment your past income got. Start this week. Start small, but start.